Good day, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome back to Team Fortress 2. Today we are going to be playing as the Scout on the first stage of Payload Thunder Mountain on defense, and my loadout for today is going to be the Shortstop, the Mad Milk, and in my melee slot that is currently being taken by the Holy Mackerel, which I don't really use, but just figured it would be good to point out. So, as you might be able to tell, the topic of this video is going to be the Shortstop. Why? Because I love the Shortstop. My opinion could change on this eventually, but currently it is my favorite scout primary to use thus far. Why is that? Why do I think it's a bit better than the scattergun currently? Well, you could argue that it has a lower clip, and that's pretty true. However, unlike the scattergun, when you reload the clip, you get all 4 shots back into the gun. That's much more convenient than having to reload one chip shot at a time. That's just my opinion at least, and I think it's a much better weapon if you just want to keep spamming at people, and just being a general annoyance. I mean, that's what Scout is all about, correct? And next there is the extra health you get from health packs. I believe it ranges from medium health packs to like 15 or 13 extra health. I could be wrong on that, feel free to correct me if you must. But you do get a little bit of bonus healing while this thing is deployed, as stated by the weapon's description, so that's pretty handy if you ask me. And then there's kind of the really odd downgrade, or rather downside. I'm not really going to call this a downside or a downgrade anyway, because all you really do is take extra push force from sources such as air blasts or enemy projectiles. Honestly, I don't think this is very much of an issue. I mean, sure, if you do get pushed off of a cliff by a pyro, for instance, then that's definitely your fault for equipping the Shortstop, because you're just asking to be pushed off of cliffs. But under normal circumstances, just being pushed around, it's only a real danger if you're in an enclosed area by a pyro, or if you're in an enclosed area by, say, a soldier or a demo man. And even then, in the more open outfield, you can easily surf off of an enemy projectile, and that's a lot more fun, if you ask me, so that's why I don't really consider the extra push force a downgrade. Still kinda makes me wonder why this thing is generally underused, because I think back in 2011 and 2012, this weapon was probably the 3rd most popular scout primary. I'd see somebody using it from time to time, but nowadays, I could count how many people I've seen using this thing with one hand, and I'm going to guess I've seen maybe 3 or 4, and that's not very much, if you think about it. It makes me curious, because this weapon truly is handy. It has good damage output, you do get bonus healing while it's deployed. It's not bad of a weapon. So, maybe someone could enlighten me with an answer in the future. All I know is that I'm probably going to be sticking around with it most of the time, just in my general pub experience when I just want to have a ball. Other than that, it's obviously better if you want to play seriously to just use the default scattergun, because it has higher damage output, and perhaps reloading isn't as bad as I once originally thought it would be, but there you go. Cutting ahead to the footage later on, because not much of anything interesting occurred during some of that experience, so right now we have about 5.5 minutes left to defend the point, and as you can see, they have just about nearly capped it. And I'm going to give some serious props to my team for just being so devoted to holding everyone off. But right now, this is my true shining moment of the gameplay. Managed to stop somebody just in time from capturing, and then a soldier and a medic come in to try and finish off the capture, but thankfully this heavy and this medic were also here to help me out, so thank you guys. You are true lifesavers, and you were able to help me make this gameplay commentary, so I highly appreciate that, even if you have no idea who I am, or if you have no idea that this video exists. So, since this boils down to us just really trying to keep everyone off the point, I'm going to be running back and forth all over the place, trying to get a couple of lucky shots off of people. Right there, I just picked off an engineer's teleporter, which was in a pretty odd position if you ask me. I mean, why would you put a teleporter there? That's pretty much asking to be taken out by anyone. And then we just get scouts suiciding towards the point, spies dead ringing all over the place. It becomes a pretty chaotic mess. This being a Valve server, just about anything could happen, but one of the things I really didn't expect was to be constantly killed by snipers. Honestly, those are really the only deaths that I'm willing to show because I did end up cutting out quite a number of embarrassing deaths before we hit around the 5.5 minute mark. And that's because, well, they were stupid and embarrassing, and 2, I didn't really get anything done. And 3, I don't really want this gameplay commentary to drag on for endless amounts of time, and by endless amounts of time, I mean 10 minutes. So, there you go. I apologize if you think my deaths are interesting. Right here, I trip in midair, right into a sniper's bullet, so that's the first sniper death I was talking about. And later on, we move over to what's about 3 minutes left on the clock after a bit of a tedious respawn time. Heavy pulls out the shotgun, and I don't really know what he was doing. I guess he was new. Dropping the medic. I mean, the thing I love most about the Shortstop is just being able to spam these shots on medics. It kills them a lot more quickly than I would ever have luck with the scattergun, although that could change because these medics right here, they're not trained in the art of being twitchy medics. And as you might know, as a medic, the more twitchy you are, the harder you are to hit. Although that seems to be the opposite whenever I play medic, and I don't know, I can't really explain the science behind it. Excuse me, I had to take a drink of water right there, but going to blast that spy right in the face. And I'm still doing the routine of running into this back building right here, because this tends to be a bit of a popular spot for people just trying to get all the red people off the point. They just go through that building. It's always good to check, but unfortunately I can't check anymore because I get headshot. That was a really lucky headshot on that man's part. I want to say lucky, but I might have to change that to skill, because honestly, that was a really good shot on that sniper's part, but I'm gonna be bouncing back right now. First obstacle of this room would have to be this annoying pyro who doesn't really know how to air blast. That or he just didn't feel like it, but he gets taken down fairly easily. And then this demo man gets to stop spamming, and this sniper, no sniping allowed. 2 chip shots of 72 damage. That's pretty good if you ask me. I thought I was going to die right here, but that heavy didn't seem to care that I was shooting at him. I think that's the same heavy that's relatively new to the game, so I'll forgive him for that. You gotta forgive the new players sometimes, even the pyros that just go WM1. That's just something you gotta keep in mind, and we're coming around to the end of this gameplay right here. I cut out another death, and we have about 20 seconds to defend. Medic gets headshot right when I call for him, so this spy and I, we're in some deep, serious trouble. No, we aren't. I managed to surf off of that explosive, get the health, run back to the dispenser, and then it just comes down to the last few minutes, or seconds I should say, of overtime, and it looks like they have the entire cavalry coming towards us. I get hit by a stray direct hit, and that's the end of the gameplay, so thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day or evening, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye.